Today we'll talk about n-dynamics, new feature from Maya 2009, and it gives way more possibilities than the old tools that we were talking about, the particles and the rigid bodies. So we'll start. Just go to n-dynamics instead of dynamics. Choose n-dynamics here in the menu. Start new scene. Now we have here nParticles instead of particles. So before we create particles, let's start with the liquid simulation. So we'll choose water here, right? And then let's build container. So I'll just drop a box right here in the middle, scaled up a little, and then nParticles, create nParticles. I'll say field object, particle field, okay. And now let's give it some more time to calculate. 6,000 too much, 600, it will be okay.
How'd you build the particles?
Yeah, click on particles, and in create nParticles we have field object right here. Select the box first, field object. And the particles, it's very similar, the menus, but it has some more additions. So you have shading instead of particle type, whatever, it's the same thing, shading. So you can choose right now a blobby surface. For previous purposes, we'll change it to spheres. And let's make box transparent, hyper shade. Let's throw some transparent texture on it. I'll just make this original Lambert transparent. So when I click 5, we see our wireframe. So we see our spheres here, and now I hit play. Oh, sorry, we forgot one thing.
Could you go back after like the hypershade part?
Yeah, just select a box, say fill, create particles, fill object, right? Now the box, in order for particles to stay inside the container, it has to collide. So we call it passive collider. So you go to nMesh, this menu, you select a box, go to nMesh and say create passive collider. All right? Now they all fall in the bottom.
No, I meant the hypershade with the color.
Hypershade, no, just it says this Lambert, it's a default shader, the one you have on the box.
Oh, you just changed the color.
So I selected that, and I adjust the transparency. So it'll be transparent. We'll see what's going on inside. So we got our aquarium.
Can you say one more time how you got the color?
Hypershade, and then select the Lambert and transparency here.
How did it turn blue then? These were the boxes,
The particles, yeah, you go to, the particles have the same, it has attribute editor, so select your particles.
Oh, yeah, select
Outliner, you go select your particles, and in attribute editor, there's a tab called shading, this one. That, yes, they used to, on the previous version of particles was called type, render type or something, now it's called shading. So if you open that shading, you see particle render type, and then choose spheres. Later I'll show you how to convert it to water. Grab it. All right. Now we have to do. Let's run it again. Now let's do the initial state. What's going on here? So we'll let them calm down. Go on the bottom. I think I should give more than 600 here. Let's do 1800. Yeah. It simulates fairly quickly. All right. Now let's select our particles and say, let's go to solver, initial state, set from current. Just like with the rigid bodies and the other particles, instead of solver, I have and solver. Everything has and on it. So initial state, set from current. Now if we go back and rewind, it'll be there.
Oh, no.
All right. Now we can throw a cube in it and it will be float. How do we do that? Or any object. So we select that. We got this object, and let's give it some. Hmm? I think you should select the spheres. So, choose other particles, maybe liquid, maybe water. Go to nParticles here. See what's going on in particles. It should be water. And now do it all over again. Remove your particle system. Just put throw new, fill it again. Just, yeah, from outliner, select particles here. Delete them. And now select the cube. Say fill. Hey. So let's give it some other shade. Let's go to hypershade. Throw some lumber in it. Select. So we can see it properly. And assign that shader. Assign material. Right now, now there is another type of simulation. It's called nMesh. If you go to nMesh right here, select a cube, go to nMesh and create nCloth. All right. Now the cube became an nCloth object. Now it's floating on top of the surface. So what we need, if you want to go lower or something, be heavier, then we go in this nCloth shape here in the attribute editor. I would just go to channel box and let's see what we have here. Lots of stuff. How do we make things heavier? It's probably mass, right? So we'll look for mass. Where's the mass? nCloth is here, nMesh. You select a cube and then create nCloth. That's it.
Do you create it with the box selected?
Yeah.
So once you create that, it should fall down?
Yeah, when you run simulation, it will fall down. I'll show you why it falls down before you even apply the gravity. This new type of, this is called Nucleus. That's a Nucleus node. Right here. If you open attribute editor, and then you go you go all the way to the right. That's what you see. That's called Nucleus. And you see it says enable. If you want to disable, if you have animation and you don't want dynamics to go on, you just click here and it's disabled. Now nothing happens. But then you click enable and it will run the simulation for you. Now it has a gravity built in already. You have direction. If you want to fly, if you want to, build your scene upside down or whatever, for some reason, then you can change it from -1 to 1. You can adjust the gravity just like in a gravity field. You can also apply gravity field as well, and disable the preset in Nucleus. You also can have a plane. I'll go through that later. But that's a new stuff. So in the our attributes for dynamic attributes are here in enclosed shape. So we wanted to, it falls, but it's kind of on top. So let it give less buoyancy and go and give it more mass, so it'd be heavier. Let's say 5. Let's see how far it goes. Now see it goes like halfway, just like we need.